천일국 깃발 전진 참부모님 소망하도다 고대양 육대주 천주까지도 억만세 태평성내 길이 빛내세 행복 천일국.
Today is the 16th day of the 4th month in the 9th year of Channel Group, May 27, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천지인 참부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Good morning, everyone. To lead us with our opening prayer, I would like to call on our regional leader, Tito John Gawek, for the opening prayer.
Let's pray, brothers and sisters. Good morning, our dearest heavenly parents, the victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humanity. Every time we wake up in the morning, we realize and we truly feel our value as your children and the value of love, life, and lineage that we had inherited through the victorious foundation of our dear true parents of heaven, earth, and humanity. We are really, really very Grateful, Heavenly Parents, that despite of our weaknesses, you always extend our lives, and every time we know that we are breathing, we always remember the mission, the responsibility that you had bequeathed to us by our true parents. We offer to you our deepest gratitude for allowing us to meet our true parents, for allowing us to be born in this era of true parentship, wherein we were able to see or feel or witness the foundations of our true parents. Discovering the divine principle is the greatest moment of our lives, wherein we have really understood the real nature of creation, your nature, our heavenly parents, and the value of love, life, and lineage in this universe. Father in heaven, despite of all the challenges of the era and the challenges of times, you have allowed us to meet as your children and as siblings or brothers and sisters through this technology, and we offer our deepest gratitude for all these things, Heavenly Parents. At this very moment, distance is no longer a problem because of this technology, and here we are together with our brothers and sisters worldwide. I pray in Heavenly Parents that at this very moment you could come down to be with us together with our absolute good ancestors, and most especially together with our victorious two parents, the good spirit world, so that we could be able to celebrate and feel this moment of love with you. Prepare our hearts, Heavenly Parents, to receive our spiritual food, once again to strengthen ourselves so that we could keep moving on with the providence together with the Heavenly Parents and true parents. This is the era wherein already third generations are being born, and even succeeding generations are being conceived. And this is really the time wherein the foundation of the true parents keep on expanding. Father in heaven, although we don't see very well the situation or the result of the fruits or the result of the providence because of the wideness, or there are many people in this world, 7.8, but we can still see handful of people, your children, who had already discovered the true parents, and this gives us hope and strength for us to keep moving on, giving us hope, heavenly parents, that your dream, that and the dream of our true parents could truly be fulfilled, and especially at this very moment that our true mother is still alive, leading the providence together with our true father in the spirit world. We prayed in Heavenly Parents that holding on this hope, you could allow us to keep moving on, keep this inspiration, stay with us until the moment we could truly be able to see the substantial result of the heavenly kingdom that you have dreamed ever since from the beginning. I pray in Heavenly Parents for all those who have discovered the true parents, especially the early pioneers of this movement, the early missionaries, the Chonbo couples that you had awarded during these times, that despite of all these challenges, we could keep moving on step by step and hold on to the principle, and all hold on to the inspiration that you keep on providing us every day. Father in heaven, we always pray, Heavenly Parents, for the success of these, all those who are on the front line, and all those who are leading us in this providence, that they could always be there, that you could always provide them the necessary help, the protection, and everything. We know that you had always been there. We know that even without us asking for it, you had been protecting us, Heavenly Parents. You had been providing us with all the necessary guidance from the spirit world. And we are deeply grateful, Heavenly Parents, that at this very moment, you have gathered us once again to join with our brothers and sisters worldwide to receive our daily food. Heavenly Parents, victorious to parents of heaven, earth, and humanity, please speak to us once again using your Son to speak to us the words that we needed to grow, or in order for us to grow. I pray that each and every one of us could truly be able to digest everything so that we could be strengthened spiritually and keep moving on until the moment that we could finally be with you substantially in that heavenly kingdom. Father in heaven, we always remember the words of our true Father when he was still alive, that even for a single day, he wished and wanted to live in the substantial heavenly kingdom on this physical earth. And we believe that with the true mother, the mother of peace, have the same dream, have the same hope. I pray in Heavenly Parents that during these remaining years of the life of our true mother, we could be able to make our offerings, be able to offer something to her, Heavenly Parents, in order that she could really feel, or she could witness, or at least be able to see the fruit of their sweat, tears, and blood that they had laid as if in order to fulfill, or for the fulfillment of your dreams here on earth. Thank you so much once again for everything, Heavenly Parents. Open our hearts, open our minds so that we could be able to be with you at this very moment of truth as we offer all these things together with all the blessed center families worldwide. This is Jan Punigawak reporting all these things. Jew.
Ju- Let us move on and let us all have our own individual prayer. Before we move on to our spiritual food of Funduke reading, let us first offer our morning greetings to heavenly parents, true parents, our elders, and our family members as well. Good morning, heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, elders. Good morning, brothers and sisters all around the world. Now, to lead us with our Hundeke reading, I would like to call on our our member here, Tito Allen Glenn Gaston, for the Hunduke reading.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Our Hondoka reading taken from the book of Mother of Peace by Hakja Hanmun, our true mother. Chapter 2, I came into this world as the only begotten daughter. Continuation. In this way, I grew up feeling honored that I was the daughter of God, the daughter of the Lord. My maternal grandmother, Ju Won-mu, also looked into my eyes and told me clearly, God is your father. Because of that, whenever I heard the word father, my heart would burst in my chest. For me, the word father brought to mind not my own father, but our Heavenly Father. Because of such love in my home, I never worried about my life. Despite our poverty and despite my father not being with us, I always was content. This was because I knew that God was my father, that he was my reason for being alive, and that he was always right there by my side. Taking care of me, I sensed that God was my real parent from the moment of my birth. I realize now that I had a sensitive spiritual intuition. My husband recognized this in me and complimented me for my insight into things that were taking place. He did so sometimes during his talks to members. My grandmother and mother taught me the duties of heavenly love and not to obsess over what I was going through personally. They set the example for me, being God absolutely and wholeheartedly. For him, they did not mind carrying out exhausting endeavors that seemed to melt their very bone marrow. They offered their devotions of prayer most earnestly and carefully, almost as if they were building a tall stone tower. They also made other extraordinary conditions that I didn't fully understand. They would bow before Jesus hundreds and even thousands of times in a day. They cooked meals for Jesus and sewed clothes for him, as if he were living in our house with us. And then they did the same for the Lord whom they expected to return to Korea. They shared their faith with everyone, and their meager food and resources with anyone who needed it. Their generous and happy spirits moved me and shaped my character as I grew up. Several times a day, I would stand at the edge of our front porch and look up at the clear sky. It was astonishing how often I saw three or four beautiful cranes in flight. I would continue my gaze at the sky even after the cranes were out of sight. My arms wrapped tightly around my chest contained my heart, which I felt was about to burst out of me and join the cranes in the heavens. One day, out of the blue, my mother asked me, "Do you know how I cried when you were born?" "I was a little baby," I replied, "so I must have cried." "No, you didn't, you didn't," she said. "You cried, as if you were singing. Your grandmother said perhaps this child is going to grow up to become a musician. musician. I engraved her words in my heart, for I thought they might oh, symbolize my future. However, my mother was not done telling me about mm, my infancy. She said that after she ate her first bowl of seaweed soup, the traditional meal for a mother after childbirth, she cradled me in her arms and fell asleep. As she dreamed, she saw Satan, a monstrous demon, appear before her. He shouted so loudly that even the mountains and streams rang with his fearsome voice. "If I let this baby be, the world will be endangered," he yelled. "I must do away with her right now." Suddenly, he made as if to strike me. My mother held me closely and cast upon him all her energy to declare his defeat. "Satan, be gone at once," he said fiercely. How dare you try to hurt her when she is the most precious child to heaven? I cast you out in the name of the Lord. Get out of my presence. You have no right to be here. Heaven has claimed this child, and your days of power have come to an end. Mother was shouting so loudly that my grandmother rushed into the room and shook her. She collected herself, looked deeply into my face, and searched her heart for the reason Satan was trying to strike me. She took this experience as a sign that I was destined to strike the head of the serpent, and this was the answer. To her in my grandmother's prayers, I must raise this child with complete devotion. My mother vowed to herself, I will raise her to become a pure and beautiful girl for the Lord, and protect her from the pollution of the secular world. About a month later, she had another dream, this time a heavenly angel, dressed in shimmering white, came to her on a sunlit cloud. Sonne, the angel spoke. I am sure you must feel incapable to prepare this baby for the service that our Heavenly Father has in mind. But don't be. This baby is the daughter of the Lord, and you are her nanny. Please devote all your energies to raising her with absolute faith, love, and obedience. Satan, however, did not give up. Until we left North Korea, he would appear in mother's dreams, looking hideous and voicing threats, both dramatic and subtle. Mother fought hard to protect me over a number of years. When I heard about these dreams from my mother, I became very serious. Why was Satan trying to hurt me? And why did he keep stalking me? I wondered. That's the only thing for this morning. Adieu.
Thank you very much, Tito Glenn. Thank you very much for giving us more enlightenment about our mother's past, her childhood with her family. To move on with our program, I would like to welcome again Tito Ariel Gascon for the 10 points of gratitude.
So, good morning. Magandang umaga. Uhayo gozaimasu. Naimbag na bigat. Nasantos ya kabwasan. Alsalalaikum. Maayong buntag to all brothers and sisters. Here is my 10 points of gratitude. I'm very thankful to Heavenly Parents and true parents, to our national leaders' message yesterday, message of encouragement and reminding us about to be a filial sons and daughters and absolute children of our natural parents. Second, I'm very thankful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for all the foundations of our brothers and sisters. Without them, we're nothing. Third, for the hard work of our brothers and sisters in realizing a world of peace. Fourth, I'm very thankful to Heavenly Parents for giving me love, life, and absolute faith. 5, I'm very thankful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for protecting us from coronavirus. Number 6, I'm very thankful for Heavenly Parents and true parents for guiding our leaders, local and international, and especially to our true mother. 7, I'm very thankful for Heavenly Parents and true parents for giving us another chance to work and live with our true mother. Number 8, I'm very grateful also to our ancestors who guide us every day to be responsible children of Heavenly Parents and true parents. Number 9, I'm very grateful to my wife and my daughter who always inspire me every day and to work in God's providence. And lastly, to all my brothers and sisters around the globe, thank you so much for supporting Baguio family, as well as Philippine Providence, and also for acquiring our big dream, a 2,000 square meter lot for our future generation, and to be our international training center in the future here in Baguio City. This is all, and 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Tito Ariel. I hope everyone is also grateful for something this beautiful morning. To prepare us for our internal guidance, I would also once again, I would like to call Tito Ariel Gascon and his family to give us their offering song.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing with the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire and the darkest night. You are close like no other. Know you as a father, know you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing the goodness of God. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. With my life laid down to surrender now, I give you everything. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. With my life laid down to surrender now, I give you everything. Your goodness is not enough, it's not enough to me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat sa Gascon family and their wonderful voices. I hope everyone is prepared now, as we now have dwelt in the goodness of God, and I know that every one of us will continue to share it. To further inspire us and give us more spiritual food, I would like to welcome our national leader, Tito Leo Angelo Halog, for our internal guidance.
Thank you very much, our brother Prince, being the MC today, this morning. I would like to greet our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and True Parents. To all our beloved Blessed Central families, Chandu families, brothers and sisters in the Philippines and all over the world. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Today is our 109th day of our morning devotion. Thank you for joining once again. And I really thank Cordillera Administrative Region for hosting today's morning devotion. And today, really very inspiring song was offered by the family of Kuya Ariel. Thank you very much po. Their daughter is really very talented. Also, their whole family, I think, and also for the 10 points of appreciation. And thank you very much po to our brothers and sisters in Baguio City. This time is already summer, so I think you are lucky to be there. Yeah, so we cannot visit Baguio City. So anyway, thank you once again for joining. So this morning, I will be sharing with you so today, I will share this topic entitled God's blessing allows you to inherit love and joy. So True Father said, love can only be known once we experience it. A glorious new morning will dawn when God assumes a physical body. The time he can love his grandchildren is a time more glorious than the time he can love his sons and daughters. How do you think God expressed his joy to Adam after having created him? God had to teach Adam about his parental joy, but that can be learned only when the children have their own sons and daughters. Children cannot know what parental love is like, but they do come to understand after having babies and the family. They understand that their parents love them while raising them. Therefore, the day when your child takes a spouse is a day of glory, and the day your child has a child is a day of glory. So many times we learn and we were taught that love is something that we need to experience. Father's saying, so Father's asking here, how could God, express his joy to Adam when he created Adam and Eve? So even though God teach them, but that can be learned only, Father said, when children have their own sons and daughters. So that's why we are, in the family, this is really a place to learn everything and really to be nurtured. Father said family is like a textbook of love, right? So we learn and then later on also we experience as we grow, when we have our children or when we are not parents yet, we really do not know what love is. So until we become parents ourselves, the same is true with our children. So that's why this is just the first step, like in the family, when we teach our children, this is just, the first step. They can really know and understand later on what really love is when they will become, parents themselves. Father said here, therefore, the day when your child takes a spouse is a day of glory. And the day your child has a child is a day of glory. So when our children later on get married, like now we have many young second generation and brothers and sisters later on when they get married. So that is really a day of glory because that's the time that they can be able to experience truly what is especially conjugal love. And then when they become parents, that is the time They can fully understand what is parental love at the same time. So really, this is really the great, an amazing thing that can be only experienced in the family. Father saying here that the time when God can become grandparents, when He will going to have His grandchildren, this is a time more glorious than the time He can love His sons and daughters. That's why we can see when we experience from our grandparents. They love actually their grandchildren more than their of course they love their children, but their love is even more deeper for their grandchildren. The same is true with heavenly parents. So how much heavenly parents have waited, when heavenly parent is looking at Adam and Eve, how much He is waiting for Adam and Eve to become parents, how much He is waiting for the time that He can become grandparents, where He can invest even deeper love than what He have invested to His own children. Right? This is truly amazing. That's why ngayon, yung mga sa Pilipinas, meron na po tayong ilang families na naging grandparents. Like, I think 3 families na. Yung may mga apo sa atin, mga nauna. Like, si Ate Puchin, Ate Shirley, and then who else? Kuya Wensi and Ate Jassy. Who else? Ate Dulce, 4 pala. So, we cannot, so for them, they can now understand more deeply what true parents is talking about here. That when we have our grandchildren, we will going to love more our grandchildren, more than the love that we have given to our own children. This is really amazing. So really in the family, especially of 3 generation, we can really understand fully, heavenly parents' love. So love is really an experience. That's why our family is the greatest gift. Why? This is where we can really experience God's love, right? Without family, we can never experience God's love. Even how much, we teach love, heavenly parents' love. Even how much, people study all the volumes of books that talks about love, they can never understand until they will go into experience themselves, right? Parents' love, conjugal love, especially these things, right? Can never experience until we experience it. Can never understand. Father said, you should know God's love. You should experience your parents' love and learn how to serve them. You should all experience conjugal love with your spouses and learn how to serve them. You should know your children's love. Do not just give orders to your children, but learn how to understand and serve them as well. Only then can you understand God's love. Without children, you are in an incomplete state. You cannot understand God's love. You cannot understand how much God loved human beings, His children. Furthermore, without being a husband, you cannot know the wife. And without being a wife, you cannot know the husband. Children do not know what parents' love is like until they become parents. So without sons and daughters, you cannot be true parents. That's why how important to have complete family. Right? How important to have complete family. Especially, through the coming of true parents. True parents actually came to build family, right? Even Jesus Christ came. But, in the time of Jesus Christ, because He couldn't marry. So that's why Christians just believe that, Jesus came to be, to be crucified, and through that He can save humanity. Right? But because of their ignorance that actually Jesus came to fulfill Adam's mission, actually, to build the family, to become true parents, right? So only it happens when true parents came. That's why in 1960, what is the greatest now among the days that we are celebrating? Actually, this is the time when true parents became, true parents, the holy wedding, right? Because this is God's original ideal, that God's family on earth can be realized, right, through Adam and Eve, but it didn't happen. That's why the greatest day in all throughout human history is the day that true parents had their holy wedding. Aju? That's why this is now the greatest, holiday that we are celebrating ngayon, now together with Heavenly Parents Day, together with True Parents Day. So that's why 1960, March 16 in the heavenly calendar, this is the greatest day where God's original ideal could be realized, right? the point that Adam and Eve didn't really reach. This is really amazing. Why? Having the family, this is the only way we can really know and understand and experience God's love. Without a family, we can never experience God's love. Even how much, people are preaching on the street, studying, learning all the heavenly scriptures or all the scriptures of different religions, they can never understand God's love without a family, right? That's why Father is telling us here, we need to experience parents' love, conjugal love, children's love. Only then can you understand God's love. And then Father is saying here, without children, you are in an incomplete state. You cannot understand God's love. You cannot understand how much God loved human beings, his children. That's why, of course, we have many situations like this in our country, all over the world. Many couples cannot have their own children. But how still, because of true parents, we can have the opportunity to have our own children. That's why, also those who has many children, we have to think of also offering. This is really important. All our children, this is not just our own. They belong to Heavenly Parent. So those who doesn't have children, then we have to, do our best. And then those who doesn't have children need to really think about this one. To find someone, maybe in your Trinity, or report to BFD, so we can help those who doesn't have children, right? Because these children, this doesn't just belong to us. They belong to Heavenly Parent. And then we need to have one or two or three, right? At least one, so that we can develop our parental heart. And then we can build complete family where we can experience God's love. Aju, without having complete family, we can never experience God's love. So Father said, you cannot understand God's love without children. You cannot understand how much God loved human beings. Also, without children, we can never understand how much God loved human beings. Right? Because when you have one, then you represent God, and then you loving your son or your daughter, then you can understand parental love. You can understand God's love. Aju? So furthermore, Father said, without being a husband, you cannot know the wife. And without being a wife, you cannot know the husband. Children do not know what parents' love is like until they become parents. So without sons and daughters, you cannot be true parents. You cannot be true parents without sons and daughters. Or without, if one is missing within a complete family, we cannot really understand fully God's love. Aju? That's why this is really, really important. True Father said, God is something that continues forever. Parents want their children to be married because they want to bequeath to them and completely teach them of parental love. When parents die, they leave their real selves behind with their descendants. This is why they need descendants. Love is something that continues forever. Since love is the highest human desire, everyone wants to inherit it with their arms wide open. When parents bequeath their love to their descendants, they can stand proudly before God in the spirit world. It is through the family that love becomes complete. Going to the heavenly kingdom through the family means that the realm of oneness of love has been realized. So, how important to have descendants actually is. We cannot have descendants when we go to the spiritual world. It can only be done here on earth, right? As far as saying here that love should, that is something that continues forever. How can love continue forever? Through our descendants, right? Through our descendants, because they are the fruit of our love. That's why we need descendants, Father said. So parents want their children to be married because they want to bequeath to them and completely teach them of parental love. Actually, all parents, di ba? Lalo na ngayon with the advancement of the providence na rin. Ngayon, we are being really reminded very clearly that our children needs to marry even earlier than before, right? They need to be much, maybe in their 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. We could see some second generation, they started family 20, 21 years old. Actually, this is the best. This is the best. And then parents' heart actually is to always see their children get married. Ito naman yung heart talaga ng magulang, right? And then, as we learn the principle, and then we learn that when Adam and Eve fell, actually that is the time when they were in their 16, 17 years old, right? This is really the time. Meaning this is really the time that children are preparing actually to get married. Ito rin yung time na talagang mabless sila to avoid and really, you know, for our children to be able to receive the blessing and later on get married. This is really the time, very precious time. Kaya nga ngayon, we are now strengthening the education for our second generation. Even preparing them at their very young age. This is very, very important. So how can love to continue forever? This is through our descendants, right? So Father said, when parents bequeath their love to their descendants, they can stand proudly before God in the spiritual world. So how can we stand proud in the spiritual world? Once we bequeath love to our descendants, to our children, and then see them, get married, then we can, bequeath to them that love, parental love, when they get married, mga anak po natin. That's why, more than anything else in this world, what should be really, we are focusing. Ano dapat ang pinag-focusan natin? Kaya nga ngayon, we need to really improve with the guidance of our new regional president. We need to really improve the education for our young people, our second generation. So that, what should be the priority sa kanila as they are growing up to prepare themselves to get married later on. More than anything, of course, everything is important. Yung pag-prepare din nila, what they want to do in the future, what career they need to pursue in the future, kung ano-ano pa. But actually, more than anything else is how to prepare them to get married, how to prepare them to receive the blessing. Right? Ito yung pinaka-importante. This is the only way that we, especially the first generation, who have sacrificed, especially the elders, who have worked side by side with true parents, especially in the pioneering times. What is the most precious to you is to see your children, to see our children receive the blessing, get married, have their own family. This is the most precious, more than anything else in this world. Aju? Because this is the only way we can bequeath to them the love that we have, nurtured and developed, especially to bequeath to them parental love, teach to them parental love. This is the only time when they get married, right? So that's why having descendants, this is the greatest thing, right? This is the only way that we can have the love that we have created in our own spouse to be continued and be able to, bequeath from generation to generation. Then that's why we are eternal beings, not only when we go to the spiritual world, even in the physical world. What can make us eternal? Through our descendants, right? That love that, coming from heavenly parent, through true parents, we have received it. It will already continue until forever, from generation to generation through our descendants on earth. Aju? So how important it is to have descendants. So Father said, it is through the family that love becomes complete. So going to the heavenly kingdom through the family means that the realm of oneness of love has been realized. So it's really, really important. Father said, people should follow this principle. Seeds are sown in the spring. In summer, plants develop fully, and in autumn, they bear fruit. In winter, you should put things in order and carry the essence of this new seed of life deep within your heart. Only then will you have seeds to plant again when spring returns. So this means that in the future, you should be parents and raise sons and daughters like yourself. So this is actually the life cycle, right? This is the principle. The principle, make it clear that life is a cycle, right? The same is true with the seasons that we can see. It is just a cycle, right? So like the farmer, especially in the four-season countries, we can see very clearly, this principle, this cycle that God has created. So they are planting, seeds are sown in the spring. Father said, in summer, plants develop fully. They grow during summertime. And then in autumn, they bear fruit. And in winter, you should put things in order and carry the essence of this new seed of life deep within your heart. So you prepare again during winter time. So this is cycle, right? So only then will you have seeds to plant again when spring returns. So the same is true, in our own families. In our own life, this is also a cycle. So this means, Father said, that in the future, you should be parents and raise sons and daughters like yourself. So nowadays you can see many countries, they don't want to have children anymore. So what will going to happen to this country, to this nation? These nations will going to perish. The cycle will not continue, right? Instead of making that circle, it will be stopped because they are not having sons and daughters anymore. They don't want to have children. Many people are dying single. They don't have spouse. So can you imagine, instead of having this circle, this circular motion continue, it will going to stop. It will just become like horizontal line. It will never continue anymore, right? That's why we have the advanced nations ngayon. They don't want to have children already because anyway, Father has one dito. Just guidance about that one. So sabi ni Father, meaning Father said, in the future, we need to become parents, and then we need to have our children and raise them up. So this cycle will continue as season continues. The same is true human life, right? That's how important it is. Kaya nga dapat ang mindset natin, even our young brothers and sisters, young children, ganito rin ang mindset na nila while they are young. How to become parents later on. Hindi lang ito kapag sa atin ngayon nangyayari, pag mag-aasawa, bago ikasal, meron silang I think 30 minutes na seminar, yun lang ang kanila. But actually, this is life cycle that, from we were young, is already, this life cycle is being taught, being teach to people. Kaya nga sabi ni Father, dapat daw sa mga schools, tinuturo ang pag-aasawa. Kaya nga ang school natin, later on, we need to really expand. This should be the center of teaching ng lahat ng educational institutions because this is the life cycle of human beings. This is what makes life eternal. Of course, when we go to the spiritual world, but even here on earth, right? How can we, bequeath love and really make love eternal, even in the spiritual world, through our descendants, through this life cycle that will going to continue without end, right? Through family. Aju, this is really amazing teaching about true parents. Who on earth are teaching about this? There's no one. Only true parents are teaching this, right? Only true parents. Really amazing. When only, Adam, heavenly parents' dream was realized, really we are living in an amazing and really, really kingdom of heaven on earth. Aju, but we are really, grateful that we are now living in the time of true parents. We could learn all these things and then we could apply and really strive to apply this in our own families. Aju, really amazing. So we need to follow this principle, Father said, this cycle of life. So Father said, you can realize how much your parents love you when you have your own children and raise them. Why do people feel sorry when they do not have sons and daughters? They feel sorry because they cannot form a circle. So this is what I'm saying. So when a family doesn't have children, they cannot form a circle. So when you see birds feeding their young, you can recognize the deep love of the mother bird. Western people may not know this, but in the Orient, children are liked more than adults. People show polite respect for adults, but they show the utmost love for children. You can realize how much your parents love you when you have your own sons and daughters and raise them. So really, many times fathers emphasizing how really important to have children. But because now people because of the ignorance of people, they prioritize other things more than having children, more than building family. Many doesn't want to get married. They're making even study that it's not necessary to get married. In Korea, 60% of people there, they don't believe anymore with marriage. They are saying it's not necessary to get married. They just live, enjoy their own life, not thinking about having family, having children, this kind of selfish lifestyle, right? That will make their nation later perish. These nations who are not, thinking about this, having a family, having children, they will surely perish, right? That's why only true parents are really saving this world. Really, how important to have a family, have children. So Father said, why people feel sorry when they don't have sons and daughters? Because they cannot form a circle, right? So Father said, you can realize how much your parents love you when you have your own sons and daughters and raise them. That's how really important it is. We can really understand only parental love, our own parents, heavenly parents love, when we become parents ourselves and raise our own children. Aju? Aju. So really, we can see now that this should be the center teaching of all educational institutions. Of course, it all begins in our own families, but it should be supplemented by, by educational institutions. Even in elementary years, as they grow, high school, this should become one of the most important subject of the schools, right? How to prepare them to build family. If only schools are teaching this, and not only to become so intelligent, and how to use this advancement in science and technology, not only this. Of course, these are important. Not only to become, to pursue their profession that they really wanted to become. Not only that, this should be secondary. This should be on top of the education of how to build good families. This should be the top priority. Aju, that's why now we are going to the government already teaching this. Really, in just a matter of time, actually, everything will really change. Everything will come to us. Everyone will come to us, come to our movement. Kaya nga sabi ni True Mother, right? And will come, even politicians, they need to come to true parents and kneel down and ask mother to appoint them, give them responsibility. Actually, later on, really, just a matter of time. So we just need to continue what we are doing and unite with our beloved True Mother, right? Just a matter of time. The government, all people, religious realm, all people will come to true parents, will come to us and ask us, right? Really, really amazing how really fortunate we are. We are living together with true parents, given this great opportunity to take responsibility. That's why, brothers and sisters, let's continue what we are doing, despite the challenges and difficulties. Aju, everything will change in time, right? So, depends on our determination, our devotion, our sincerity. It might be shortened, the time, right? It might be shortened. And then kingdom of heaven can be realized. And then we can really liberate heavenly parents. We can liberate true parents. So Father said, everyone should get married and raise their children. So everyone should get married and have and raise their children so they can know both children's love and parental love. It seems that Western people are not like this. They avoid having and raising sons and daughters. They hesitate to have children because the children may limit their freedom to marry and divorce. So this is what Father is saying. So, but when people fail to establish the four-position foundation, they cannot go to the kingdom of heaven because they do not know God's heart of loving people. Father said, people now, they avoid having and raising sons and daughters. They hesitate to have children because the children may limit their freedom to marry and divorce. So this is what the situation of society now. Tapos sabi pa nila, pag mag-asawa ka, parang kumuha ng bato na pinupok mo sa ulo mo. Kaya ang pag-aasawa, so people now are thinking pag-aasawa, problema. Right? This is the mindset of people now. Pagkaanak ka, problema yan. Maging kwan ka pa niyan, maghanap ka ng to feed them. How are you going to feed your children? So this kind of thinking of people now, really, really, people will perish with this kind of thinking. Nation will perish with this kind of thinking. Right? People can never go to the kingdom of heaven. That's why, our desire as parents, gusto nga natin mas maaga talagang mag-asawa yung mga anak natin. Not necessarily na kailangan matapos sila ng college, right? Kasi pag matapos sila ngayon, they will be finished. Some of the families, they especially the blessing, they don't need na kailangan matapos muna ng pag-aaral. They can join the blessing when they become 17, 18 years old. Some families that even I know personally, they started even family, before completing their course. And then now they have very beautiful families, right? So really, this should be the focus of our education and really how to really prepare our children to get married. This is actually one of the greatest accomplishment that we can have as parents when we could really have our children, get married and have wonderful family more than anything else. Kahit na hindi ganon ka, kasikat sa society ang ating mga anak, hindi ganon kataas ang pinag-aralan man nila. Most importantly, they are, good children. They have good families. They are good father, good mother. This is really the most important, more than any fame and power or anything in this world, right? This is really the core. This is what God is really longing to see. Wonderful families, right? You know, wonderful father, wonderful mother, wonderful parents. This is what God is longing to see. That's why we really need to know what should be our priority in raising our children, right? What kind of education should be. Kaya nga, with the situation of our society now, we really need to be very careful. What kind of school also we will be enrolling our children. Maging matalino nga sila, you enroll them on the top school, in your place, in our country, naging napakatalino. But if they are not thinking about, you know, getting married, having their own children, so like you lose everything actually that you have invested your whole life. You lose everything. If your children are not thinking about receiving the blessing, getting married, having children, you lose everything. Even your children become very famous in your society, in our society, in our nation, in the world. What's good we can get out of that? Right? Nothing. That's why really true parents is educating us very clearly. Right? So that's why what should be our central focus to really prepare our children, our young people, right, for the blessing to get married. Aju? And then when they start in their family, naturally, they will become good, you know, leaders in our society. Aju? They will become good leaders in our society. Starting from having this kind of mind. Really later on, I want to become a good father, I want to become a good mother, I want to become good parents. So really, the family is really the center of raising up, you know, filial children, patriots, right, saints, and divine sons and daughters in the family. This is really the greatest gift that Heavenly Parent has given us. So how to really prepare our descendants, our next generations, so that we can bequeath the love and the blessing that Heavenly Parents have given us. Aju? That's why more than anything that we are, you know, focusing on. Do not, you know, desire with the same desire of outside people. They have their mindset is completely different. That's why we have to educate them, bring them to us so that they can know what should be focusing on by parents, right? By leaders and older people. Really, how to bequeath this love to our children, to our descendants. Aju? And then we can make our good family, and then our children, second generation, third generation. Wow, really kingdom of heaven will surely be realized. Aju? So if all of us, our families, we can really build kingdom of heaven in our own families, it will just naturally, just a matter of time, kingdom of heaven will surely be realized on earth without doubt. Aju? Without doubt. Kingdom of heaven will surely be realized. Really amazing teaching about true parents. That's why what should be our focus as our children are growing up now. Kaya nga, yesterday we had meeting with the second generation department, the family. Nag-meeting po kami. Kaya nga, and then also last Sunday, they have this meeting with Sunday school with our President Hori, President Dunkley. During this time period of education sa mga anak natin, from their 3 to 12 years old, already we have to teach them ano ba yung parang goal talaga sa buhay nila. We need to immediately teach them ano yung pipeline din nila, saan ba sila pupunta when they reach their age. As young as they are, they need to know, they need to understand na ito. Hindi yung kapag pan na po, teenager na sila. Even when they were young, they need to know already. Kasi nakikita naman nila yan sa atin with their own family, sa nakikita nila yung tatay, nanay nila. We just need to teach them also, you know, literally. And then, you know, more technically and more detailed, they need to just understand slowly. Our children can really understand. And then if it is planted deeply in their mind, in their heart, in their young age, they will just naturally go in the flow. When they reach their age, then they prepare for the blessing, and then later they will get married. Really amazing. Really, the education now is really, really important for our young brothers and sisters and our second generation, third generation. Education about how to build ideal families that can really give the greatest joy to heavenly parents and true parents, and also that can really let us experience the complete love of our heavenly parent. Aju? Aju. Really, this is really amazing, amazing truth. So let's really appreciate and really offer our gratitude to heavenly parents and true parents. Really, I cannot imagine really how amazing this opportunity that was given to us living with our true parents. So once again, thank you so much to all our leaders and all brothers and sisters. Let's have a great day today. May Heavenly Parents love and blessings be upon you and your families. 감사합니다. Thank you.
감사합니다. Thank you so much, Tito Leo. Move forward with the program. We have 3 reflectors today. The first one is coming from Lucina Center, Kuya Roel.
Okay po, thank you so much po. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and dear parents. Good morning, Israel A. Good morning, leaders, blessed families, brothers and sisters. Good magandang buhay po sa ating lahat. So by the way, my name is Roel Chavez Galit. So this moment, I'm doing pioneering here in Lucena Center. So this time, I decided to I volunteer myself to really share my reflection because I was really moved about this morning's guidance. Ang grabe yung guidance po. God allows us to receive this kind of blessing, to inherit joy and love. That is why I'm so thankful and grateful to my parents, my biological parents, because they allowed me to experience this kind of education. They allowed me to meet this movement, because through this moment I learned so much. Yeah, as well as to my spiritual family, my parents. I'm so thankful to them because through them I can know true parents. Nakilala ko po si true parents. They let me to experience many things. And then, grabe yung experiences po talaga. And that's why every time I do mission, every time meron po akong responsibility, I'm always thinking about them. Grabe yung sakripisyo po na ibinigay po nila sa akin. Grabe po yung love, yung care na they are always na ibinibigay po sa akin. Kaya, ayun, whatever responsibility na natatanggap ko, I'm always thinking, I need to be grateful. I need to be more sacrificial also. Kasi that's the only thing na ma-offer ko po sa kanila. Kaya thankful ako sa mga naging leaders ko po, sa IPLC, sa whatever organizations na nasalihan ko po. Thank you po. Salamat po sa inyo because you let me to experience many things na naramdaman ko po yung pagmamahal po ni Heavenly Parent at ni True Parents. I can feel the joy within dito po sa heart ko po. Kaya po, my determination this moment is if ever po makapag-build na po ako ng ideal family, ng spouse ko po, at magkaroon po kami ng anak, I will let my children to experience the same things na meron po ako. Kaya, ayun, this moment, I'm really giving right education to my spiritual children. Though na they are some of my spiritual children nandun po sa mga Bible nila, I'm always sending message, I'm always sending inspirational messages. Yung mga everyday's hundoke na isinesend po ni Sir Jaime Vergara po sa GC po. I'm always po, pina-forward ko po yun sa kanila para guided po sila and align po sila kay Heavenly Parents, True Parents. That is why that will be my determination. So I'm really hoping na we can do more. I need to strive more. I need to witness more para mas marami din po akong ma-educate na young people dito sa Lucena and ma-educate po yung mga HTM po dito sa Lucena to really align themselves to Heavenly Parents and True Parents na ma-inherit din po nila yung love, yung joy na gustong ipadama sa atin ni God. That will be the great blessings na matatanggap natin. Kaya hindi po ako magdadalawang isip na i-share po yun sa kanila. So, kaya thankful po ako sa lahat ng experiences ko po dito sa movement. Thank you po everyone. Thank you po sa lahat po ng tao na may members na always really giving me inspiration to really move forward for this kind of mission and responsibility na meron po ako ngayon. Maraming salamat po, NL, for this kind of reminders, this kind of guidance po sa aming lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Kuya Roel. Power to you. To follow up that reflection, I would like to call on my father, your uncle, Tito Jose Braganza, for the reflection. Papa.
Narinig ako. Can you hear me? Narinig ako?
Yes po.
Okay. Good morning, brothers and sisters. It's been a long time that I will speak again in front of you, brothers and sisters. It's been a long time because I remember every time. I remember that when I was new in the church, I always hide when they call my name. I always hide. I want to hide myself, to hide my fallen nature, or something like that. So, good morning to elder brothers and sisters, leaders, and to our national leader, especially our president. Giving message every day is something special, and it's very difficult. I know after this we will get a reward and blessing. I remember when I went to America doing my mission. I joined World Cup 1995 sa America. So I feel, every day fundraising, every day witnessing, and joining seminars. Wala ka nang iniisip kundi yung God's will. So, Satan cannot invade because you are focused in one direction. So, what is the basic mission of Jesus Christ? It is to build kingdom of heaven here on earth as well as in heaven. Same true with our two parents, to build humankind and build kingdom of heaven here on earth and in heaven. So sabi ng ibang brothers and sisters, Father failed. How can you say Father failed? He fulfilled the four-position foundation, and that it is going on and on. We are following, brothers and sisters, we are following the footsteps of our two parents, fulfilling four-position foundation. In order to build the kingdom of heaven here on earth, it is existing right now. So, thank you for this message again once more, and I want to say I pray for everybody to fulfill God's will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Papa. Thank you very much, Tito Jose. To move on with our final reflector, I would like to call on Tito Freddy Tayoan.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Live from Kuwait, my name is Freddie, and I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. It started only in 1989 when I started my life in Wanwado. All of us, we were like playing basketball. It was a special court where everyone knew that we went for fundraising. We were trained to give lectures of the divine principle, and everything was just coming in to practice what the divine principle is all about. We never knew that after some time we will be matched, we will be having our eternal match. And I'm so happy that even I was not blessed in 1992, I was blessed in 1995 with my beautiful, and of course it's from heavenly parents, and I was blessed with 3 children. It makes me feel, and I understood what the true parents, the heavenly tradition that was leading us to make it to the kingdom of heaven. And I could feel when you do your responsibility, it commands and it interact with what you have done, what you have to do for the future, and it is an accomplishment from the past. I would always remember how I would be standing in front of my brothers and sisters. In 1994, we had the national training for the martial arts. You know, this is Juan Wado and Tong Il Mudo. And till now, I'm always making myself being part of that tradition. You know what happened? There was an accident at the time when till now I still have the circled swire on my left foot. And I will always remember that day when all brothers and sisters, they did fundraising instead of going home to their own respective region. They did fundraising for my feet. And till now, I could say, I could always feel that determination and that power that we've learned from that very beginning of time. It makes me all the time being connected with the tradition of our heavenly parents. And I'm so grateful for the elders who always inspired us. I could always remember how they showed us the pathway, how we could build the ideals, and it could make us reconnected wherever we are. I know from the very beginning, as I told my mom, I'll just be going home if I will be perfect. And that's the beginning. Well, I become full-time at that very early age. I was a student and I become full-time till I started my family way back in 2001. That's the beginning and always a reminder for me and everyone who knew what life we can offer for this world and in the next world. And that's no possibility without learning who the true parents, the heavenly parents, and what the divine principle could give us. And I believe if we could make our heart stronger and be connected, not just as family, but someone who could magnify the greatness of the true parents, everyone could stand stronger. And whatever it takes, we will always hold into that lineage that we have started. So I would challenge each and every one of us. We are here to make not just a history, but something that we could do for the restoration of the whole world. I do hope I could see each one of you, I could see happy faces, and everyone could make and take the responsibility in accordance with the principles that we have learned from the very beginning. Only what I can say is that good luck and have a good day, everyone. And thank you for making us inspired again for today. Thank you very much. Back to you,
Thank you very
Prince.
much, Tito Freddy. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida. Thank you everyone who has reflected for today. And I would like to once again thank you, Tito Leo, for your internal guidance. Going back to that, I would hope that each and every one of the second generation of my generation and the other youth are excited to receive the blessing or at least find their match Let us now hear some announcements. Any?
Thank you so much, Prince. Good morning to all our brothers and sisters. We would like to invite everyone to the first Filipino Heroes Award. This is on May 30 or May 31 in Philippine time, 6 a.m. This is a program recognizing the hard works of the Filipino frontliners in the US. This is a very special program organized by our Filipino families, FICA, Filipino International Community of America, in preparation of the event with True Mother on June 5, 2021. So we would like to invite everyone to register. We will put the registration link in the chat box. Then we would like also to remind once again all our brothers and sisters to the Family Peace Festival this Sunday, May 30, 2021, 9 a.m. Few days to go, brothers and sisters. Let's register and participate in this great event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ate. To close our morning devotion, I would like to call our elder from Abra, Tito Rosendo Anin.
Saan?
Let's pray, brothers and sisters, please join me in prayer. Our most beloved heavenly parents, victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and mankind, we would like to give thanks and appreciation that every day we are receiving so much inspirations and love coming from you through your very energetic representative and mouthpiece, our very own national leader, most Reverend Leo Angelo Quijano. With all our leaders, elders, and brothers and sisters who are untiringly giving their very sincere and touching testimony and deep reflections every day. We are all these are all expressions of your great love and warm embrace to us, our dear heavenly parents. Thank you so much for this heavenly initiative of our national headquarters. With this, we can hear and see brothers and sisters, even virtually. During this time, we can truly feel the emergence of time as our beloved True Mother had initiated the rally of hope. Our True Mother truly possesses heavenly wisdom. And even during this time of pandemic, the side of goodness is advancing forward as the evil force is being crushed. With these great initiatives of our beloved True Mother, we could see great hope in the realization of our Chonilgok nation. True Mother is now preparing the environment for her beloved children before she will go to the spiritual. True Mother wants to see to it that all of us believing in a peaceful and safe environment. May we could inherit all these foundations and take part in the past establishment of the heavenly kingdom. May we could all become responsible Chonilgok citizens moving forward, fulfilling our given goals. We ask then your divine guidance and love to all us, dear heavenly parents, so that we could touch the hearts and even every person that we meet each day. Thank you so much, and I would like to humbly ask and pray all of this in my name, who have received the blessing from our beloved parents. Amen.
Okay, let us all also have our own individual prayer. All right. I hope everyone has been inspired for this morning. I hope to see you all again tomorrow for tomorrow's morning devotion. And please greet your family members a very, very good morning. Good morning. Have a nice
Good
day.
morning, everyone. Naimbag na bigat you. Thank you. Thank you, Brother King.
Thank you so much.
Alira, Rika.
Good morning.
Miss you all.
Your family. Thank you. Bye.
Ingat po kayo.
Tita Connie, Tita Jan, thank you so much.
Morning.